week was good. People were sending requests from left, right and centre. I'm going to do our very best to answer them all today. We do have some questions already, but if you want to fire some questions, you know, we'll happily read them.
That's right. Well, it's a pleasure being back on here again. Welcome everybody.
So listen, we've been in here this morning and poor Brian, he's been getting asked questions now for I think about 2 hours. I was saying, no, save them for the video. Save them for the video. But, you know, we're here now, we're live. I know it's a lot later than we expected because there was a class on, everybody's asking questions. We made a video. Big Brian's going to be going on his brand new YouTube channel, Brian, doing the Grovet, which is the most deadly hold in all the combat sports. Luckily for all you people out there from 20 years ago, luckily he didn't know it then. What did you think of the move, Brian? Did you like it?
That was fantastic, yeah. I'm going to learn more.
Yeah, too right. Big Brian's back on this time as a no-holds-barred catch wrestler.
Yeah.
And look, he's wearing the legit pro wrestling school T-shirt.
It is a triple, lads.
Catch can.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic to be here today. The lads are there, absolutely fantastic. They're all trained here, they're brilliant kids.
Good afternoon, guys. Any questions, just fire away. And do we have any questions from the audience? There's 500 people in here, so just take your time.
I'll start. Right. Stockton legend, you two.
Yeah.
Pretty well known boys.
Yeah.
Who is your all-time Teesside toughest, pound for pound, toughest lad?
The like who Bride's fought against or
anyone from that's lived, grew up, born in Teesside, who would you two say? You can say yourselves as well.
We're the best. Us! No one else! No, the toughest people I fought was probably Dave Garside, who had 44 fights in the ring, fought for the British heavyweight title, really tough bloke. And then the fight with Duffy, as you know. The toughest people I've ever come across, he's one of them, without a doubt, shadow of a doubt. I love him a bit. He's like been like a son to me, and you know what I mean, like a brother to me. He's brilliant now. Now he's teaching me. Now he's to teach him, but he's a kid. But the toughest people I've come across don't always have to be top fighters. I mean, you've got like the Sears from Newcastle, Stephen Michael, them. You've got people like Viv Graham who could fight for fun. You've got Ernie Buick who'd never been beat, the only person to beat Viv Graham. So there's some fantastic fighters out there, you know. You've got Lenny McLean, Roy Shaw, absolute legends in the past, you know. But someone once said, I think it was Mike Tyson, you can only be as good as the either you're in. You can't say, oh, he would have beat him, Mike Tyson would have beat Muhammad Ali and things like that, because you can only be as good as what era you're in, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, there's different generations, isn't there? You know, obviously there's different generations. There's always areas like Teesside. It's very easy to go and get yourself into a fight with someone in there. You know, everybody's sort of up for a fight in an area like this. There's many fighting men, isn't there, up and down, left, right, and centre. But I think that you know, not everybody stood the test of time, have they? You know, when you look at all these people and unfortunately people's getting killed or people's getting smashed in or people are not surviving life. Big Brian's still here now. He's, you know, now he's born again. So this is only,
and that's the thing. So Jesus Christ, he's helped me through it. He's prayed for me loads, and I've prayed for him now. And he's wanted there, but he's fine. I didn't believe in it. I'll tell you the truth. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't believe in it, but Jesus does exist. Believe me, he really does. My wife was a Christian. She's 4 years ago. And I prayed to God for an angel, and he sent me here. So there must be a Jesus. You know, that's all I can say.
Definitely. And when you look at the fight game, you know, throughout history, they're all godly men, aren't they? Right now, the best pound for pound MMA fighter ever is John Jones. John Jones only ever lost by disqualification. His dad's a pastor. His old grandmother got in the cage after his fight last year. She's just walking around shouting hallelujah, and it's big, you know, because I think the faith is super important, and you need the discipline. And the Bible says God hasn't given us a spirit of fear. Or God has not given us a spirit of fear, or I need to get this 2 Timothy 1 verse 7. God has not given us a spirit of fear nor timidity, but power, love, and a sound mind. And in the other version it says power, love, and self-discipline. So I was getting them mixed up. But look, power, love, and self-discipline are so important.
Carl would have helped you there.
Yeah, Carl knows. Carl knows.
He's fantastic.
Carl knows that Bible. He's like a talking encyclopedia of the Bible, Carl Valley.
Brilliant.
God bless him.
Absolutely love him.
I was chatting with him this morning on
message.
And
Brilliant person.
obviously his brother Simon, a top professional boxer, and another example of a man of God. You know what's out there, winning championships, fighting at the highest level. Yeah. And it's amazing to see that people, Commonwealth gold medal, change his life around. People are changing life, and I think that, you know, change, it's there for everybody, isn't it? Anybody is capable of changing. It all starts with the mind. We must have a strong mindset. If we're weak-minded, we're not going to get anywhere. You can have the strongest body, but if you have the weakest mind, it's not going to help you. You need mind, body, and spirit. And what I teach here in Legit Pro Wrestling School, it's mind, body and spirit. If you look on the wall, it says glory to God, and it says in the Bible that the Spirit of God in the book of Luke is within all men. So what does that tell you? We have what it takes. We have what it takes. We just have to access it. We have to live it. But also the Holy Spirit is the actual translation from Hebrew is the Ruach HaKodesh. It's not Holy Spirit. The actual translation means holy wind. But that holy wind is not going to operate if you're not living right. So if you're speaking bad, if you're doing bad things, that Holy Spirit cannot live inside of you. Right. So when you're doing things right, you're putting God first, and it says, seek first the kingdom of God, all its righteousness, everything else shall be added on. If God's for you, who can be against you? So really, it's quite straightforward, because when there's men like this changing, transforming the lives, men like Nicky Cruz, the most violent gangster in New York City, turning his back on the gangster lifestyle and becoming a famous evangelist and transforming lives throughout the world, you can't get away from it. It's as simple as that. You only have to look at what's happening in the world. We need God, especially at a time like this. Look at what's happening in the world. We need him.
And if you love God, he loves you. God never turns his back on whoever you are. He's always there for you. So anyone can change, but you've got to want to change. You've got to get up and say, I'm going to change today, and you can do it. And the power of Jesus Christ can help you. It's helped me. We all have our down days. I mean, just do a little prayer before you get out of bed in the morning, or one at night, or whenever you want to do it, and he'll be there for you and help you. And he'll close. Some doors will shut, some doors will open. But, everyone gets depression. You've just got to fight through it. And it's a horrible thing, depression and all. So if anybody needs help on that, you can catch me on my new webpage. It's the Brian Cockerill Facebook page. The old Facebook page has been taken down. No, it's not taken down, it's getting used by somebody else. So I'm not answering questions on that. It's the resurrection of Brian Cockerill. I'm no longer on that page. I have nothing to do with it. It will be getting taken down soon.
Yeah, brilliant. So yeah, as Brian said, he has a brand new page, a brand new YouTube channel, and there's going to be a lot of content going on there. Is that right, Brian?
That's right.
You have an after-dinner speech coming up, is that right, in Newcastle, the 26th of September, yeah?
Yes, it'll be Stephen Wraith, who's now my new manager. Absolutely fantastic bloke. We were up there the other week with my wife. We met his wife and we had a meal and we all sat down together. It was Tony Sayers. He's a funny man. But I'm also going to be doing the movie with the Sayers. That's going to be coming out next year. Everything's just flying. We've got a documentary with Sky Television people. We've got other things in the pipeline. We've got about 5 or 6 books to do. We've got 4 or 5 documentaries for the next 6-7 years.
My phone for phone calls.
Yeah, stop phoning us up. We're talking to you already. But it's fantastic to come to this gym. I mean, this man here has saved so many kids off the streets. I've watched him for years. He's taking all them kids off Garby and all them different streets. He's got them in here. His wife's a Christian, he's a Christian, and they do a lot of good in Gramseed. Fantastic person. Going out and helping people. He's been taught me today. We're a lovely man. We're all Christians. We're all helping each other. But in this world, we're all brothers and sisters. What we need to do, we need to love each other. And if you love each other, don't have this stony heart, have this flesh heart. And then that way you're going to love everyone. If you love everyone, you'll feel great. Instead of getting up in the morning, I'm jealous of him, he's got a bigger car than me, he's got more money than me. Forget about all that rubbish. Love Jesus and God and the Holy Spirit's in your heart. You've got that, then you're the richest person in the world. Yeah.
And it's absolutely free. Priceless, but it's free. And anybody can have it. Is that right, Brian?
That's right. Anyone can have it. My wife taught me, I didn't believe in it. But she kept going, it's real, and she kept letting me, because God gives you free will. You don't have to follow him if you don't want to, but he gives you free will. But if you follow God and you do what Jesus says and you love Jesus, you'll live forever, because when you die, you go to the kingdom of heaven and you will stay there forever. And you'll be there with your friends, your family, my brother who's passed away, all of them. We're going to meet them again. So, but if you don't believe in Jesus, you don't follow Jesus, you're not going to get there.
So you know what to do, people. You know what to do.
Yeah.
It's simple, isn't it? It's as simple as that,
easy.
Because there's living proof. Yeah. I read that book by Graham and I was about to go and do something very bad that day. And it had been very bad, very bad. I read that book and I heard a voice saying, ring Graham. And I thought, I ain't heard a voice. I rang it. Suddenly I found his number. Yeah. I left a message telling him that I'd heard a voice. And I put it down. I thought, that man's going to think I'm the biggest lunatic ever.
That's what I thought. But I did the same thing.
It's mad, isn't it? Then he come, give me a book, started reading it, started reading the Bible. Started getting filled with the Holy Spirit. Next thing, I got invited to a Bible study.
Yeah.
I met my wife.
Fantastic.
That was it. Everything. You were there when I was changing. Remember?
Yeah,
Brian?
I remember. I thought he'd lost the plot a little bit. I really did, but he did. I followed on later on. But Jesus got me and told me to pack the drugs in, get yourself right, and I've just followed Jesus. Followed people like Bram. My wife's a Christian, and Tony Grange, I can't thank him, and Cal Valley, who helped me,
ladies of God, men of God,
who dunked me in the sea and baptised me in the sea in Redcar. And since that day, everything's just been falling into place. Everything, and my hands getting better. I've got arthritis, my hand, my knees, everything, and it's like a psychosomatic. I just do a little prayer to God, a little bit of Jesus, and my wife does it. We do prayers all day long, but people may not believe it. It's up to you, but we do believe in it. And I'm telling you now, Jesus is real. Believe me. Tony Grange, Lighthouse, the leader of the Lighthouse Church, he's a fantastic person. He's prayed for me, and I'm not joking. Honestly, it was like miracles have happened with that man. He's fantastic. He's unbelievable.
These people you see have been following that life for a long, long time, following that narrow path, and
yes,
the fruits are there for people to see.
Exactly.
You know, can you remember when you hurt your arm years ago? What I said to you, Brian, when you'd injured your arm?
Yeah. He said to me, God's probably done that because your hand was that powerful. You're probably going to kill someone with it. So things happen for a purpose, he says. So
that's why it's getting healed now.
That's why it's getting healed now, because I've stopped. I don't want to fight no one no more. It's not that I'm being a coward. It's not. I've got it. My heart has changed since I got the baptism. It's gone from stone to flesh. So I feel like a different person. Oh, I've got love in my heart for everyone. I'm helping kids out there. I'm helping people with mental health. There's people all over the country contacting me. People from down south. Rob Holloway, another fantastic person I've met recently. Rod Harrison, who's the Charlie Brunson's manager, was his manship manager. Charlie Brunson sent me a book. It's loads of people contacting us and well wishers saying, keep the good work up, Brian. You're saving people's lives. Me and my wife have saved 22, 23 people in the last 9 months. Brilliant. But sadly, we can't get on the resurrection page now, so we're not on it. So we are on the Brian Cockerill page. So please leave that page and follow me on the other one, because that's not.
And you're nothing to do with that Purple Aki book, any other book. You're nothing to do with any book apart from your own.
No, nothing. I'm just doing my own book, which is going to be called Brian Cockerill, Lee Duffy, Taxman at Teesside. It just says what is on the tin. There's no BS in it. It's all proper stories of people who were actually there, who could make their opinions, because if you weren't there, you can't make something up. When it's been told 30 years later, it may be handed down by 30 different people, so the story's like Chinese whisper. But if you were actually there and seeing what happened, it's like watching a film. You can only say the same thing that's been seen over and over again. So yeah, there's new stories in this about Lee. Me and my wife have laughed about some of them. They're really funny, and loads of different characters are in this book. No one knows about what Lee told me, and I kept it for myself. And I'm letting people know because it's his 30th anniversary next year, so it'll be out this year. So and we're also going to do a documentary about him and what we really did in Teesside in 1991. God rest his soul.
Brilliant. I have a question for you, Brian. If you could go back to a 20-year-old version of Brian Cockerill, what advice would you give him?
I'd probably say stick to the training, what you're doing, like you do. Stick to the training. You know yourself, people out there, Kev Kilty, would see me leg pressing in the gym around the corner, £2,000 for 11 reps. See me bench press over £600, squatted over £800. So I did have that talent to do it. I did have that. When I was 13, I wanted to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger, trained as hard as I could. And I did it and did it and did it, and never drank, never smoked. Every penny, I got a job on the race course, a red car, a couple of quid here, a couple of quid there. Every penny was put into training. I didn't drink, didn't smoke, didn't gamble.
So you lived a very disciplined life
for
the majority of your, up until, was it about 27, 28, you started going to raves and things like
27
that?
27
so you lived a very disciplined life up until then.
And it was fantastic, but obviously I can't regret what I've done, because the things that I've done in the past, because they've gone. But don't follow what I did in that way, but follow now. But the thing is, if I didn't do the things of the past, I wouldn't be here to help the kids of the future and the kids of today. So I'm just
going to use you massively.
That's the way, yeah. And so I just want to say to them kids, please stop. I'm doing a campaign with Ben. It's called "Put Down Your Knife, Save a Life." I said, please listen to us. We've been through it all. There's all these top villains and gangsters and hard men who've been there, who changed their attitude, changed the way they think, because they're older and wiser now. I mean, I was in prison. There was 3 kids there, and they were in there. And I was talking to them. I was doing a little bit of a lecture like them now. So I was saying, what was the concept before you stabbed me? He said, what does that mean? I said, well, how long did it take you to think, well, I'm going to stab me? He said, 2 seconds. I said, right, 1, 2. I asked the next one. He said, 2 seconds. I asked the next one. He said, 2 seconds. So I went, 1, 2, 25 years, because that's what he got. 1, 2, 25 years. 1, 2, 25 years. So 75 years for 6 seconds of madness. So they all went, wow. And the prison screws went, that was fantastic. So, I mean, just think before you do this, because when you get in these cells, you're in this horrible, horrible place with this spice and heroin and all the drugs and the stabbings, and it's horrible. You're in there, you're in a little cell like a wild animal, and you can't get out, you know, and you go to the toilet, they're watching on the toilet, you eat what you have to, they give you food, it's rancid food, but but that's what if you only do the crime, you've got to do the time, so you just got to get on with it. But you know, it's not a nice place to be, so I advise you not to do it. Just get a little job and do a bit of training and live your life and be content and be happy and love each other.
Brilliant. I know that we have a lot of people asking questions on here. We're going to get back to them, but I know Danny's here. Danny's from he's from Yorkshire, and he watched your documentary McIntyre when he was a kid. Went and bought a set of weights, started training weights, and years later he's ended up here. Many things happen. He's ended up in this town. He's been training here for 2 years. He's started competing and whatnot. He's living a really good life. I know that he'd been in the army, then he went off the rails a bit. Now he's living a very, very good life. He's working hard, fit, tough lad,
brilliant shape,
good art. What questions do you have, Danny?
Well, Brian, you know, when would you say, what age range would you say were your absolute physical prime? Maybe late 20s?
I'd say, very good answer, question that, because a lot of people never answered that. I've never asked that before. I would say from 24 till about 30, 32. I started feeling I was going down a little bit when I got about 32, which you do, because when you get to 28, you start losing 1% of your testosterone every year. So it's going down and down and down. You know, whether you're taking steroids or not, you're still losing your testosterone. Plus, like, you start getting injuries, like, you know, it's just like shoulder injuries, so, you know, and the aggression's not there as much. When I'm still trained now. I train about 5-6 days a week. I don't use lightweights now. I'm only using like 7.5 kg dumbbells for sets of 20, just to pump, you know, because once you've had that muscle, you don't lose it unless you put the blood into it. And once you get big, like I was, I'm still big now, I'm over 20 stone, but I don't want to be 24 stone because it's too much for my blood pressure. My blood pressure's perfect now, it's 120/80, so I'd rather be fit than be dying to kill myself. Getting big to kill yourself. You see these people dying to get big, and that's what they do. They kill themselves, taking too many steroids. Rich Piana, God rest his soul, fantastic bloke, multi-millionaire, knew everything about training, but obsessed. I mean, it's a bit like bulimia. Bulimia is the opposite of, well, bulimia, you look in the mirror.
Dysphos, I can't say the word, but they think they're skinny when they're massive.
When they look in the mirror, they think, oh, I'm getting fat, and they're about 6 stone. So in their mind, they look fat. But bodybuilders, I look in the mirror, I'm not joking, I've been 23.5 stone and in brilliant shape, going, just I could do with a couple of pounds. And my wife slaps at me, I'm 21 stone something, she's going, Brian, you're mad, Joe. You're mad. What do you mean I'm mad? She goes, you're mad. You're 21 stone something. We've just got weighed in Tesco the other day. What are you on about? She said, and I said, I'm looking skinny, you know, today. But it's a mental thing, but it's a good thing in some ways. But you can get obsessed with it, you know. So if you get obsessed with it, it's a bad thing, because people think, I need more steroids, I need more this and that. And so you can get, it's like anything in life. If you do things in perspective, moderation, it's like eating too much food, you get fat. Eating not enough food, you know, you make yourself ill. Yeah, everything's in moderation in life, so.
Can you remember years ago, Brian, we chatted when Rich Piana had that really successful YouTube channel? And what do you think about giving advice on? Because I know there's a lot of people, ex-bodybuilders, pros, and I think they're giving out misleading advice when they're talking about the use of anabolic steroids and whatnot.
Yes.
And would you ever give advice to make it safe for people who are using them, or would you just say don't use them? Or I know doctors are giving out testosterone for TRT. It's helping people. It's stopping people suffering with obesity. It's stopping disease. So obviously it is medicine, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Like anything else, it can be used for the good or for bad. So what are your thoughts on that?
What are my thoughts? If you're 16-year-old, you don't need any steroids. 17, 18, 19, 20, up to 25, something like that. You don't stop growing till you're 21. So you're producing all the tests in the world you need. All you need to do is eat non-stop, drink loads of milk, even though it's fatty and things like that. You need it when you're only thin. You put the weight on, drink loads of milk, loads of eggs, dairy products, things like that, cheese and all that. Just stack them calories in you and you'll get bigger. You don't need steroids. You'll grow. You produce more steroids in your body than you would take an artificial one. So why do that? Plus you stunt your growth. That's why I think most bodybuilders are small in height, because they're taking tons of steroids before they hit the potential. You don't get, you're about 21 before you stop growing, and so why take steroids? You know, you don't need them. But when you get in your late 40s, if you go to the doctor and you've got a low testosterone level, so what it can do, it can give you mental health issues. It can also put weight on you and give you depression. It also stops you from recovering quicker. You can't sleep properly sometimes. You're down. So what you've got to do, go and see a doctor. Go and see someone who knows about steroids, not just some bodybuilders who's only been doing it a couple of months. A GP or an expert, you know, in the hospital will help you, and they'll tell you exactly what to take. What they're doing now in places like Dorian Yates's a firm believer in. If you just take 1 shot a week of testosterone, I'm not telling you to do that. This is what the doctors are doing. They're giving people 1 shot and 1 shot a month, and what it does is just balancing up the testosterone, because you lose it when you're getting older. So you just balance it up like a scales type thing. So what it's doing, it's eradicating diabetes. It's helping people with the bones. It's helping people with the muscles. It's repairing things. It's just making people better. Your testosterone levels go up.
So it's not much different to when women are getting hormone replacement therapy at an older age, is it?
That's
a similar thing.
Some people get a cream as well now. They put a cream on you, so but you don't need steroids when you're young. You don't need any steroids at all. So, and if you start taking steroids, what happens is you take some, and they only last for so long. And then you've got to up them. Then you take again. You've got to up them. You've got to go up them. You've got to keep going up and up. And in the end, then you're in danger levels where your blood pressure and things like that. So, my advice is don't take steroids. But I'm telling you this now: the ones who are world champions now, without steroids, they'd still be the world champions, because it's all to do with the mindset and what you're on, your genetics. So steroids are just like having a Porsche, and you put the polish on, you just polish it off. That's all they are. So you've got to have them genetics. But I'm saying to people out there, anyone who goes to the gym and gets up, they get out of the bed and they say they weigh 10 stone, and they get up to 13, 14 stone. They might not get to 15, 16, 17, 18, but they've still achieved something. So small goals. Don't try and think I'm going to be 20 stone. I'm going to be like Brian Cockerill, so I've got 800 pounds, or I'm going to be like Dorian Yates and be Mr. Olympia. Don't think, even though you can get to that if you've got the genetics, but you've got to have the genetics, and you've also got to have the discipline. Discipline's the most important thing in sport, and having your mindset. The mindset's the greatest thing. You can go in the gym and think, you can feel down and gloomy. You're not going to bench 500 pounds because you haven't got it. But the other days when you hide the kite with buzzingness, not with drugs, and then you get that rep, you whoa, and it's the best drug in the world, isn't it? But my best drug is pray to Jesus Christ now, and my wife. Jeez, I'm addicted to my wife. No one gets my wife. I love them all the time. I get up every night. I've said this to loads of people. I get up, I look back and think, am I dreaming? She's still there. She's still there. So, yeah, so it's fantastic. My life is fantastic, brilliant. And being with my brother again is unbelievable. So all them years I lost through drugs, and I was in a pit. And the only way I was going to go was suicidal. I was going to die or come back. And Oscar Wilde said, when you hit rock bottom, the only place you can go is up. And that's where I'm going, up. So everything's going fantastic. I mean, look at us today, sitting here talking to people. A couple of years ago, I was in my bedroom on crack every day. And I'm not going to lie to you, it was the most horriblest feeling. Paranoid, think people are going to get you. And that horrible mental health issue you get with it. It's just, you get schizophrenia anyway. I pray to God, saying, if you're real God, just take me. I don't want to live no more. It's a horrible way to live. So don't sell drugs as well, because when you start selling drugs, you end up taking them like I did. And once you start taking them, you start getting danger levels, because then you put your family at risk, because you're taking the drugs off drug dealers. You're not paying them. They're putting your windows through and things. So please keep away from them, and don't carry knives. You don't need a knife, honest. Only cowards carry knives.
Brilliant. Addiction, it's a serious thing. You can be addicted to many things, not just drugs. And alcohol, I class alcohol as a drug. They say drugs and alcohol. If alcohol was not such a thing and they brought it out now, it'd be a class A drug. They say, oh, look what it's doing to people. They're going wild. They want to fight everybody. They're going crazy. So be careful about alcohol as well. And another thing, I was watching a video of a guy, some serial killer, I forget the man's name, a horrible man. And he said that on his deathbed, he said he was addicted to pornography, and he said everybody on death row is addicted to pornography. And the dangers of this for youngsters, we're talking about testosterone, it will destroy your testosterone levels. And there's youngsters now, they've been watching this stuff for years and years and years, and they're never going to be able to have a girlfriend because they're just used to this fake. They're watching this fake stuff, and it's sending them down, they're bending, they're thinking that they're going to do this and they're going to do that. And, a woman knocks at the door to sell them Tupperware or something. They think, oh, she's being said. They think like she's come round to have sex or something like that. This is dangerous. Be careful. That's an addiction as well. You have to be careful of that as well. It's not just about the alcohol and the drugs. It's that. Yeah. You can be addicted to mediocrity, can't you? Just to have a negative mindset. Oh, how you doing? Oh, shit, it's shit, isn't it? Yeah. If you're saying your life's going to be that, you say, oh, brilliant, smashing, I'm on top of the world. So just check what you say. Look after what's coming out of your mouth. Speak only good words, positivity. The other thing is, if you're going around and you're calling people all the time, it's negativity. So you're bringing everyone down when you're doom and gloom. If you're miserable, even if you're miserable. Danny Burton wishes he could never touch a drink or drug again in his life. It's possible, Danny. It's possible, Danny Burton. You can do it. Contact me on my Facebook and have a word with me. Definitely. Brian Cockerill Facebook. There's been so many people putting messages on there. We can't get through them. There's that many coming through. There's so many. Did you have any on there?
Rod Harrison wants to know how do you cut up and lose body fat?
Right, Rod. Thanks for the book of Charlie Bronson signed the other day, the Taxman, which we're going to be doing a lot of them and all at the Irish Centre on the 26th of next month, isn't it? For
Newcastle
Stephen Sayers and Stephen Wraith. So that's going to be a good day or a good night. What you got to do, Rod? Cut out your carbs as much. Don't eat as many carbs. Up your protein, because protein, when you take protein, just sitting about, when you take 100 calories of protein, just digesting it alone, because it takes longer to digest than carbs and fat. It takes about 3 hours, I think it is, and you digest 30% of that. So you use 30 calories up just digesting it. So when you take 100 calories of fat, it's sitting about, when you digest that, you only burn up 3 calories. So the difference is massive, you know, from 30 to 3. And the carbohydrates, when you're sitting about and you eat 100 grams, I'd say 100 calories of carbohydrates, you lose about 15 to 20%. So if you maybe have 70% protein, 25 carbs and 5% fat, you'll definitely lose body fat. But you need to have the protein in your body. If you haven't got enough protein in your body then starts losing muscle and gaining fat. So that's one of the main things you've got to eat. But another little thing what people say, live like a king in the morning, so have a big breakfast, a prince in the afternoon, so have a half decent dinner, and on tea time live like a pauper. And then on the night time have things like protein, you know, if you have protein on the night, you won't keep your weight because the carbohydrates are full of sugars to keep your weight.
Starving, Mr. North.
Yeah.
I just want to eat some food.
Yeah, but the thing is, you are what you eat, and try and do a little bit of walking, a little bit of cardio training. You don't have to go berserk. You could even use your stairs like a stairmaster, just walk up the stairs and walk back down and do things like that. So that's the way to lose body fat.
Come and join legit pro wrestling school.
Oh yeah, come here. This is the best gym in Teesside, but the best gym in the world, as far as I'm concerned, because he's the best trainer in the world. I've never known anyone as good as him what he does. You know, I wouldn't like him on my case.
It's a blessing, and having Brian back is just, honestly, I'm on top of the world because everyone's morale's lifted. When he's around, he's here for advice. You know, he's been around forever. He's helping us with nutrition. Back in the day, I said to Danny there, I've never ate so much food. I said, if this was years ago when Brian had me eating for strength and for size, I said, I'd have had more to eat by now than I'd eat in the next 3 days. Yeah. Non-stop eating. And you said to me that it's the most anabolic thing.
Yeah, of course.
The body is food.
It is. Yep.
It's true.
I mean, people go to the gym and they think, I'm getting bigger here. I was just talking to Danny and them, and said, you go to the gym and you train, and, well, I'm getting bigger. But you break it down the muscle. It's called microscopic tears in the muscle. So then you have to replenish it by putting, because you burn the glycogen up in your liver, which is like a battery source, so I was telling the lads. And when you burn that up, you must replenish it, means put it back in. So have half a banana after training, one half before training, half before training, half after. But get 100 grams of porridge oats in a blender and 60 grams of protein, whack that in you, and it'll just make you feel better. It'll just recover you, and you have to eat little and often. Because when you eat big meals, they're not good. So you need to have protein because you digest so much at one time. So if you have maybe 5 small meals, that way you lose weight as well because your metabolism's still burning the calories up as you eat the food. So, and then you are what you eat. And Jay Cutler said if you eat tons of food and you train, you'll never burn yourself out because the body keeps recovering and recovering and recovering.
That's right. I know the Russian wrestlers have a saying, they say there's no such thing as overtraining, only lack of good nutrition and lack of recovery.
That's 100%, yeah. 100%.
So you thinking about getting some guests on, Brian, chatting with people? There's been people getting in touch, I believe, wanting to come online and chat.
Kelty was along.
Brilliant.
One of my
father-in-law, my wife's
father-in-law. He's a lovely man. He knows more about the training than I do. But he's been there when he's seen me had the fight with Lee Duffy, all the love rubbish, this, that and that. And Kevin was actually there, you know. And Kevin was there when I did the leg presses. Kevin took me to meet people like other bodybuilders in different parts of the areas, and he taught me a lot, you know. When I was a young kid, I met Kevin when I was 22-year-old, and he said, I've never seen anyone as big as you in my life. He said, you're just a freak of nature. And I used to have like tops, because I used to think elk thin, so I'd put tops on, and then he'd say, how many tops do you have? And I'd take my top, and he'd go, fucking hell, sorry for swearing, guys, but he was like shocked, you know. And when I was squatting like 800 pounds in them days, it was close to world record, you know. Sometimes I was breaking them. I was carrying 50 key dumbbells. I've got it on video, he's seen it. I was side laterals, 50 key dumbbells.
Crazy strength.
I was shoulder pressing 500 pounds above my head. It was just ridiculous. I was benching 6.5 plates on a 6 plates each, 10 20s, and a 5, and I did it in Moore's Gym with Paul Epstein used to come.
I remember Paul.
And when I did
just
the leg
downstairs, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was downstairs, and when I did the leg press with Paul, he said, Brian, you're going to have to stop. You're using every weight in the gym. So I had all these weights in. There was Mark Johnson, black lad, and two black lads were brilliant kids, like my family, Mark and Ali. And I had them sitting on top of the thing to make the weight up. We were calculating, there was £2,000 leg press. And I got 7 reps, and I went, help, and I thought I'd hurt myself. They run over, I said, I'm only joking, and I got another 4 reps. And they all laughed, the whole gym. Every one of them days, you see, we're like brothers in the gym. It's like being, these are all brothers now, so it's fantastic. And that's what it's all about. You don't think, no, he's only because he takes steroids. The man's achieving something. Don't put people down. A lot
of people take steroids, but they don't all get big or strong, do they?
No,
do you know what I mean?
No.
Every Tom, Dick and Harry's taking steroids doesn't mean they can strong. It doesn't mean they can fight.
Yeah.
You've got to put the work in. You must put in the work.
Someone's asking a question, Abraham, what gym is this? And they're willing to pay for you.
Oh, brilliant, thank you. This is Legit Pro Wrestling School. You know, we're affiliated to Combat Submission Wrestling in the USA. You know, we leave no stone unturned and bring you the very best in mixed martial arts. So, you know, I'm a black belt 2nd degree in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under Sensei Eric Paulson, who's a martial arts legend.
I remember you going there.
Yeah, I remember. He's coached men like Brock Lesnar, UFC champions Josh Barnett. I used to go out to Brazil. I first learned Jiu-Jitsu, traveling out Brazil, 2003, 2005.
He used to save every penny he had, like I did in the bodybuilding, and he'd go to Brazil. That's why, because I'm going there.
Yeah, trained with the Gracie family who created the UFC. Yeah,
and some of these people invented the sport, didn't they?
They created it. So it's, you know, I've lived my full life doing martial arts, competing against the best in the world in many different disciplines, and now my big passion is helping the youth of the area and the adults too. And it's great having Brian, because, you know, we've always been seeking that expertise with nutrition and whatnot, strength training. I know we brought Kerry Case here a few years ago, who was big in the bodybuilding scene. He had a supplement company with Dorian Yates, now he's training Peter Fury's son, Huey Fury. He's like involved in the pro boxing game. You know, all these elite men, all these elite boxers, MMA fighters, they have men like Brian helping out with the nutrition, with the weight training. It's important. It's super important. Strength and conditioning is everything. Back in the day, the great Carl Gotch, who many says the greatest no-holds-barred wrestler of all time. Somebody said, Carl, what's the #1 technique? He said conditioning. He said, never mind all these positions on the ground or stood up. He said conditioning. He said, if you're not conditioned, if you're not strong, you're not going to win. And I agree with that 100%. What do you think, Brian? It's conditioning, strength's going to get you through.
Well, so you get these people when you see them having a boxer match for bodybuilders, they're massive, they look great. Oh, he's about to kill you if you get and they're like 4 or 5 punches, like, they can't breathe because they've got that much muscle tissue. And that's the only thing about bodybuilding. When you have that much muscle tissue, the more muscle tissue you've got, the more oxygen you need, so you burn out a lot quicker. So that's why most boxers, you don't see them, like, quite a few are big, but they're like Tyson Fury's shape. You don't need muscles, like you said about Joshua. All the muscles are no good when you're knocked out on the floor. Yeah, so he still trains, and it's just when you're throwing punches, and you're not stiff and mechanically.
Last week, that bodybuilder didn't turn up for his fight with Tyson Fury's dad, John Fury. He was a no-show. Hopefully that's all put to bed all again. Just talk, people wanting attention. It's one thing talk, but it's another thing making that walk and getting on the cobbles or getting in the ring. It takes a lot, and I respect anybody who will go and have a fight, win, lose or draw, because it takes a lot for a man to go and have a fight with another man.
Yeah, especially when it's arranged. You know, if you're in, like, say, a scuffle starting in, you run in, you're not thinking about it. But when I had to fight Lee Duffy, I had to train to fight Lee Duffy, you think, I'm going to win, I'm not going to. And then you start thinking, what if I get beat? And everyone goes through that, though. Because the market
there's a lot to lose in that world as well, isn't it? It's not just like losing a sports fight.
You're losing everything.
You might lose
everything. I was running everything, money, the doors and everything. So, anyway, so what happens is, you all go through it. Any Buick used to say to me, everyone gets that, you think you've lost it, and then you've got it back, and it's just a set mindset.
It's a roller coaster.
But what it is as well, what Custom Martyr said, it's what the coward does makes him a coward, and what's the hero makes him a hero. But they both have the same fear. So you go and you got a bit nerves, but nerves and butterflies is a good thing, but keeps you on your toes. When you fight, when I went to fight Biv Graham, I went to Newcastle to fight him, which is obviously going to come in this new book. You're going to hear about it and read about it. These stories, when you do 10-week training to go and fight someone, it's a hard slug, you know, but when you get there and they don't turn up, it's really devastating because you want to fight them. So
it's funny, you know, because you mentioned Viv Graham there. Is when I was a kid, I used to go to Blakeson School in Roseworth, and I just got in the way to 14-year-old or something. Then you used to have a Porsche, didn't you? And I used to walk past. Yeah. Then on the first, there was another, but there was all like everyone of them was into bodybuilding. They'd wear, remember them baggies, the trousers?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
big like
MC Hammer.
Yeah. All these big men and the Porsches and all that. So I wonder who these fellas are, because I was starting to. I had like a York barbell and dumbbells at home.
Yeah,
I was starting to getting into contact karate, boxing, Muay Thai, and my coach here was Barry Norman.
Yeah.
He used to coach a class at Tarry Stadium, but he had a gym in Newcastle, and all the doormen and whatnot went there. So on a Sunday I go to that gym in Newcastle. It was like an old lock-up, it wasn't advertised, nothing like that, it was just a load of fighting
Great
men.
gyms like that.
Yeah, he used to train Viv Graham, so it's mad. So I'd be in the gym where Viv Graham was. Viv Graham was not on the Sunday morning, obviously he had doors, but I was like in the same gym, trained by the same man. Then I'm walking home from school, seeing him getting into Porsches. Like the North East is only a small place, isn't it? It's like an hour up the
world's
road.
only a small place.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Small place.
And I just a young kid. You know, it's funny, isn't it? How everything, I didn't have no idea like what was going on in that type of world. You know what I mean? But
do you think our lives are mapped out?
I believe so.
Yeah,
I think fate's a big thing. Yeah, I think it's a big thing. I think every decision we make, shoes like what we're doing now, is going to change the rest of our life. And for everybody that's here now, and for everybody that's watching, everything we take, whether we take a left turn or a right turn, it's going to change everything, isn't it? And I think that everything affects everything.
That's right.
So what we do by putting out good into the world, that only good can come back, I believe. And people call it karma, don't they? But you know, it's just kind of in the Bible that you reap what you sow. So I think we've just got to sow a lot of good. If you want good to come back, sow a lot of good.
That's right. But the thing is, if you've taken the wrong roads, like I've done, taken many a long road. So when I first went to church with my wife, I got there and I thought, what if he strikes me with a lightning bolt here, all the bad things I've done? But it's not like that. So when you get there, and the people are loving the place, you just feel, and the hair stands up on the back of your neck, don't they? And there's that much love for everyone. Everyone's there to help each other. Nobody's cast.
Imagine if everybody helped everybody.
He wasn't sinned, cast the first stone. We've all sinned. So yeah, it's great. So
someone's asking.
Yes.
When you get them back aches and pains, what's the best way to heal yourself?
What type of?
When training.
What type of pains after training in the gym?
Just put after training.
Is he a local person?
It's called DOMS. Yeah. It's called delayed onset muscle soreness. When you train, you tear the muscle down. Like I said to you, the best way to get rid of that if you get amino acids. If you take amino acids after training, about 6 amino acids, you don't have nowhere near as much pain because the amino acids go straight into the body because instead of like food, amino acids oxidize in the liver, which means they digest straight into your bloodstream and help you recover the next day. That's good for it.
And there's another question here about diabetic. He's quite high in diabetic sugar. He wants to train to lose the belly fat. No answers anywhere else. Any advice?
What type diabetes is it? No, if it's type 1 or type 2. If you can tell us that'd be a big help.
Because if you're born with it, obviously, what for people out there,
what is caused by bad diet, isn't it? And what you're born with. One can be healed and one cannot.
Yeah, the one when you get the second stage 2, it's called. You get that one through eating wrong, and you usually get it between 45 and 55. That's people eating too much food, not exercise. Exercise eradicates it. So
what was that fella called? Mark Owen's boyfriend, the fellow all the time. Kenny, he had it. Yeah, I think he had the one where it was through
drinking and things like that. Too much abuse in your body, things like that. But if you're born with it, what you have to do is your pancreas produces. When you eat bread or potatoes or anything like that, they're sugars, and when you eat them, your pancreas sparks and you produce insulin. But if you haven't got it, you have to take it by an injection or tablets. So it depends which one you've got.
And if it's injuries, actual injuries, we have Amin in here. He's treating Olympians, he's treating everybody. So if you need to be fixed, come and see us at stage 2 diabetes. Is it?
Stage 2,
Again, see a doctor. You know, look out for experts in the field now online. You can Google and you can find the number 1 expert in the world.
YouTube,
to do with anything,
fantastic.
To do with anything.
That you have more stuff off that YouTube and Google.
It's like magic, isn't it? It's like having.
What you better do is when you put in Google, put NHS, because you don't listen to someone who's got a clue. Because then obviously, they're just some of these young kids, don't disrespect for them. They've only been trained 2 years. They've got a diploma or whatever at the college. But that means nothing because they've only been trained a few years and they're giving advice and it's wrong advice, how to squat wrong. And someone said to me, practice makes perfect. It doesn't if you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, so practice makes permanent, I tell the kids.
So,
and watch the GRE, the Joe Rogan Experience, because he has the top scientists, top doctors, people top of the field in. Some amazing chats. I learn a lot from watching that. Danny's always sending me clips and whatnot.
I learned a lot from Rich Piana. He's clever, really clever. And another one called
remember Dan Duchain?
Dave Palumbo, absolutely phenomenal.
Dave,
and Lee Priest, they're all really knowledgeable people. These people have been, these are the elite bodybuilders, been to Mr. Olympia and stuff like that. You can't get any higher than the Mr. Olympia. So I also trained with I met Noreen Yates at a table with Bill Boyds. I met Tom Platts 3 times. And he was saying to me, the best thing to do is, train heavy and things like that, and eat properly. And when you're doing squats, he said, always have maybe a 3 to 5 minute rest. Don't have a 2. Get your full breath back. And he was the godfather, called the quad father because of his legs. So I used to have really skinny legs. I wanted to be like him, so I got my legs massive. I had 36-inch thighs. Yeah.
Someone asking about mass gains, are they a waste of money or are they worth taking?
Yeah, I think they're a waste of money because
Mega Mass 4000 and all that.
It's all rubbish. It's just all pure sugar. It's just like you just might as well go and drink tons of Coke. It's the same thing. So what you want to be doing is, I'd rather have 10 eggs a day because you're getting 7 grams of egg. There's 70 grams of protein instead of these 20 grams in a big mass. And they tell you to have a scoop. The scoop's like that. You only use about, it's gone in a week. Yeah. So it costs you 50-60 quid and it's gone. So make your own protein drinks out of your own stuff. But creatine glutamin's really good. When you're taking the glutamin, it helps you recover. But when you're taking glutamin, it also helps you with your nervous system as well when you train really hard. It's only for people who train really, really hard. But the creatine's really good. All the Aston team, they were all using it, and Manchester United were saying they were cheating, but it's really good. And what it does, you only need 3 grams a day. You can take it any time of the day with water, in coffee, anything. All these different analogies, it's all rubbish. So once that creatine's in your body, you could only digest 3 grams. If you're telling you to take 5 grams a day, 5 times a day, that's 25 grams. Loads of people are getting bad stomachs, getting constipation, and can't take it. So if you only take 3 grams a day, after 21 days, there's still going to be the same amount in you as if you were taking 25 grams a day for 10 days. So why waste money? And it's like Bruce Lee said, once the glass is full, no matter how much water you try to pull in it, you can't get any more. So that's what happens when the receptor sites are full with the creatine. You just need 3 grams a day, but every now and then come off it for a few weeks. But also, if you've got anything wrong with like blood pressures and things like that, you've obviously got to see a doctor first. So these things are health products, but sometimes they can affect your blood sugars if you're diabetic, or they can also affect your blood pressure. So always get checked out before you go to the gym. Young kids and young lads, no matter who you are, still get checked out because there could be anything wrong with you, So it's always better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, brilliant. Before we wrap it up, is there any final questions or about anything that could be to do with Bry's up and coming books, advice, or anything at all? We have something in here. Here of Danny.
What you were saying earlier on, Brian, how many, when you said you used to have a full week off, after how many weeks did you have?
I'd say maybe every 10 weeks have a week off because you can't lose muscle. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks before you start losing muscle tissue. It's like driving a car, right? If you're driving a car 100 mile an hour everywhere, it's going to burn out. So if you drive it like, at 30, 40, 50 mile an hour and have a little bit of a rest, put it on the drive, things like that, you can't push yourself to the limit all the time. You have to have a rest. Your body needs a rest. So I'd say every 10 weeks